Well, what a great start for the Warriors. Happy 2025. And it was great to see the first win already come at the first game. The Warriors play a really nice basketball that remind us of the old school Warriors, let's call it this way. There's a catch there, and I'll bring in this video. But before we jump to this, I want to show you what Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry spoke about the game and about how the Warriors play it.
How much did it feel like you, particularly offensively, kind of needed this type of game?
Needed it badly, it's been a long time since we, even shot 50% from the field, so to shoot over 60, felt like the floodgates kind of opened up for us, so great night for the whole team. It was, a really well executed offensive game, and then, we caught them on the back-to-back, which helped, but, our defense was solid and, great start to the game, and there weren't any let-ups, so it was a really good night for us.
Listen told me before the game that this team, in order to get back to that amazing 12-3 start you had, needed to play with more joy. Tonight, we saw you zipping the ball around. We saw you dancing. We saw you looking at that right hand, admiring your own work. What does this say about what this team can return to after a performance like this?
I think it's just about controlling what you can. Like, we haven't had a lot to be happy about for a few weeks. I made the first three and I went a little over the top with a celebration just to try to infuse that joy into the game. At one, it allows us to play with confidence. Two, it gets our crowd into it. And it's you can't control whether the ball goes in or not, but the energy we've been playing on defense has been great. But can we translate that to success on offense? And when we're playing together, having fun, smiling, shoot with confidence, great things happen.
Said a lot of stuff, and both Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry that I want to highlight. There's a lot we can extract from this game, right? I have said here before, the Warriors needed more from Stephen Curry, and we saw in this game. Look at the box score, 30 points, perfect from the three-point line, 8 for 8. First time that actually Stephen Curry does that. And we also saw the supporting cast playing well. Dennis Schroeder, Draymond Green, Tracy Jackson. We still don't have Gary Payton and Brandon Porzinski, but everyone played really nice. And in the defense as well. Intensity, constant. Like Stephen Curry say, we couldn't control when the ball goes in, but we're missing basic layups by ourselves at the basket. So it's obviously you're not gonna win games like that in the NBA that is so competitive. The Warriors play it better. The catch that I want to highlight, and that's why I ask as the title of this video, can the Warriors keep the momentum? Is that we got, as Steve Kerr said, the second leg of the 76ers back-to-back games. And you probably know already by watching the videos here in the channel that I'm not a fan of back-to-back games. I think they're unfair. And we will have one soon enough. And we always see the Warriors struggling in the second game because obviously you're tired, you didn't rest well. So we had a little bit of an advantage that it doesn't take that the Warriors played well, and we gotta say that. We deserve it. We shoot it well. First time in over a month that we shoot above 50% from the field, and that makes a difference. But we gotta the question mark that I still have and I wanna see is can we stay and can we keep that momentum? Can we keep that pace, the intensity, the fast breaks, the way that the Warriors played? It overwhelmed the 76ers, right? You had Embiid. You don't have the 76ers being a team that is very fast. There is very athletic in the sense of like speeding. So the Warriors overwhelmed them with that and the ball movement, a lot of assists as you can see here as well, and everyone playing really nice. And then last that I want to mention that I think we finally saw that, but I want to see what Steve Kerr will do when he brings back Brandon Porzinski and Gary Payton, is that he trimmed the rotation, right? We have been saying it was nice. We had a good start where we were still trying to figure out who would play, and then all of a sudden that stopped working, especially when we lost Melton. Now, Dennis seems to be getting in rhythm with Draymond Green, with Stephen Curry, with the way that the Warriors want to play. So that's actually helping too. But we cut off some guys, right? And the most impacted one was Looney and Kyle Anderson, we could say. Steve Kerr, I didn't include put here for you, but also highlighted how professional these guys have been, right? Because yesterday they played 7 minutes. They played really nice, which kept the margin that the Warriors built over the game. We had this blowout victory because when Kevin Looney and Kyle Anderson came, they still play as serious as you expect, even that they cut off the rotation right now, the main rotation. So reducing that, as Steve Kerr has said before, as Stephen Curry said before, that was needed to make easier for the guys. He helps the Warriors a lot, right? You have around like 9 players really playing over that, and then you have the guys that came at the last 7 minutes when the game was basically over. That's important, but it's going to be a challenge for the Warriors and Steve Kerr to also figure out what you do when you have 2 players coming back from injury, Brandon Porzingis and Gary Payton. This victory obviously helped the Warriors with the loss that Minnesota had last night as well in the first game that you probably watched in the TV against the Celtics. The Warriors are very tight with the Minnesota right now. Could take the lead on Saturday if we win, and depending on the results. But we were 10, now we're 9. Like it's the West Conference, right? It's very tight. 2 wins, 3 loses. You can be up and down a lot, but the Warriors still have chance to compete to a directly playoff spot, and that's where we want to be, right? So I said here, January is a month that the Warriors should break through. Is a time to recover momentum. We have what, in my opinion, is not a very difficult schedule because we have a lot of play, a lot of games at home, and I'll show the schedule for you in a minute. Before we jump there, I want to ask you to vote in the Warriors players for the NBA All-Star. I have already done my vote. You can vote in a daily basis. Support the Warriors. I always vote for whoever, Draymond Green, Stephen Curry. I think those guys deserve, and mainly this year it's going to be in San Francisco, so it would be amazing to see these guys there. This was the first release of the fan voting. You can see that Stephen Curry is third there, which in my opinion is a little bit unfair. You have Luka Doncic, that is really great player, no deny on that, but he hasn't been playing, has been a lot injured. So I think it's fair to Stephen Curry to go up a little bit. And the surprise on Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, that is in fact, he's a discreet guy, right? He's not that shining guy that everyone talks about, but he's having the most efficient year of his career, surpassing the 2022 where he was fundamental for our championship. So it's interesting to see him there, and let's see how this shake it up until the end. But don't forget to vote and help the Warriors in the All-Star games as well. So here's the schedule. I have showed this before. First game at Philadelphia, done, check, win. And now we have the game against the Memphis Grizzlies. It's going to be a very challenging one. It's at home. We know how it's competitive playing against Memphis. There's sort of this rivalry that was built over the years. Ja Morant might miss the game, which would be a big win for the Warriors, but yet to see he's questionable. And then we have the back-to-back that I said. Then we play against Sacramento, which is not doing that great right now. They fired Mike Brown, I said here in the last video, but it's always challenging. When you play the second game and you haven't had time to rest, you have to travel, all the stuff. It's not easy, even though this time is both at home. Let's hope the Warriors can catch those 2 wins, but it won't be easy. But anyway, then we have Miami and we go to other games. I think the Warriors can finish January in a high note and get back things on track. I want to know what you thought about the game last night. What you thought about how the Warriors played, who you think shined beyond Stephen Curry, what you think was the high notes. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Help us here. Like the video, share with friends, and then I see you tomorrow.